Hey guys, welcome back. A big question I wanted to talk about today as we near the free agency period and after that the NFL draft for the 2020 NFL season and offseason. A big thing to look into is should the Patriots draft another wide receiver? Last year they drafted N'Keal Harry. He had his ups, he had his downs, more downs than ups. But the question is we sit kind of in the same wide receiver position we had last year. Do we draft another first round talent? So when looking at the ups and downs of the year this season for the Patriots, one of the most glooming threats to the dynasty seems to be the lack of talent on the offense. To be 100% honest, I don't think any of us are too used to looking towards the Patriots' offense as the reason for their failure. It's been really successful over the past 2 decades, no matter who's filling the skill positions throughout. And even when the offense hasn't been at its best or on the verge of record breaking or in the top 10, it's still, we haven't looked at the Patriots offense as the reason why they lose. Now, this season was when that changed. The defense and the special teams, the special teams have always been a good strength of the Patriots, but the defense has never really been number one, and this year it was. And several of the Patriots' losses could be pinned on the offense's lack of ability to score or find any sort of success whatsoever. And while the faults of the passing game can be partially blamed on the predictable run schemes that failed time and time again with Sony Michel, the lack of successful play action, and a band of misfits basically for an O-line with Marshall Newhouse and Ted Karras for a majority of the season, and then James Ferenz, it can also be blamed on the lack of separation by the wide receivers, which I think was the biggest contributor. In the past, even when our run game hasn't been that well and our O-line hasn't been that good, it still never got as bad as it was this year. And an interesting point in this is the Patriots' hesitancy to commit to wide receivers throughout the 2019 offseason and the 2019 regular season. For example, the Patriots bid on Adam Humphries, who was an extremely successful slot receiver in 2018 for the Buccaneers, and he took another team's bid even though the Patriots actually had the highest bid, but Humphries took another team's bid because Tom Brady the Patriots weren't really locked in on Tom Brady for the next few years. It was more of a year-to-year check-in deal. And without that commitment, Humphries didn't want to join a team that could possibly go through a rebuild. He wanted to be on a team that was going to find success sooner rather than later. And another example of this can be seen in the Patriots' inability to sign big talent at the wide receiver position. Antonio Brown excluded. But it was a problem before the free agency and the regular season even began. Players like Odell Beckham, Larry Fitz, Golden Tate, they all flew by in the free agency period. Of course, Fitz re-signed with his team, but Golden Tate found a new team and Odell Beckham was traded. And really just overall, it seemed like the Patriots weren't all in on trying to find some great talent at wide receiver. Not even great, just kind of adequate for Tom Brady. You can look at the acquisition of Antonio Brown and the quick release of him 2 years later as an example of. The Patriots did gain some wide receiver talent. They had Demaryius Thomas, Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, all at different points in the season. But seemingly, just as quickly as it looked better, it began to look worse. The acquisition of Demaryius Thomas brought higher hopes for the Patriots offense. And at the beginning of the season, Patriots fans were comfortable with the knowledge that they could possibly watch Edelman, Brown, Gordon, and the rookie N'Keal Harry lined up in the white and blue on a 5-wide. And eventually those dreams were killed off, one by one, as the Patriots released Thomas, Gordon, Brown at different points in the season. Not to mention rookie N'Keal Harry was placed on injured reserve. So pretty quickly, it was looking like, okay, we're not in a good spot right now. We're playing bad teams. But what happens when we play the Ravens? What happens when we play the Texans? What happens when we play the Chiefs? How are we supposed to beat those teams with this type of offense? So, I've kind of recapped how the Patriots failed to find their strength in offense over the season. And I think one needs to ask, do they think of drafting a young new talent to help fix the problem? They tried that last year, but Harry failed to live up to his expectations due to reasons in and outside of his control. I mean, he was ruled out of the first 9 games of the season due to an injury he acquired. So, I mean, that you can't really blame on him. But when he returned, I mean, he didn't flash as much as he did in the preseason, first of all. And he kind of just came up short of helping the already struggling receiving corps, which seemed to be one of the big reasons why they drafted him. And clearly he didn't achieve the success that the team was hoping for in year one. And yeah, I mean, he just didn't live up to that expectation of being able to help this team where their biggest offensive problem was. So the looming question then is whether or not Harry can live up to the expectations in 2020. I mean, if he can live up to those expectations, then why draft a new guy? And when asking this question, whichever answer the Patriots front office settles on could very well determine whether or not they will draft a receiver early in the 2020 draft or in the 2020 free agency. And my take is that I don't think they should. N'Keal Harry failed to live up to the expectations in 2019, but I believe he will bounce back in 2020. Harry has game time experience and can build on that throughout training camp in 2020, and he clearly has all the physical attributes needed to become a solid starting receiver. And I made a video on this, which is my most viewed video on this channel. But the video kind of goes over why I think N'Keal Harry won't be a bust. And yeah, I understand why fans kind of freak out when a first-round talent player has a bad first year. It makes sense. You draft a guy in the first round, you expect him to be a quick starter. Sometimes quarterbacks are more like, okay, maybe we train him for a year. But outside of the quarterback position, it's mainly you draft them in the first round so that they can play in their first year and play well. Maybe that's not the main reason you get them, but it's kind of an expectation if you're looking towards whether or not they're going to succeed in the future. And I get that. I get that. I can identify with that. I can admit I had times throughout the season where I was like, N'Keal Harry does not look that good. He does not look like a first-round talent. I mean, he's playing barely better than Philip Dorsett. And, of course, another thing you have to look at from the fan perspective when you're a fan is the camera only follows where the ball is. So it's really a matter of Brady targeted Edelman over 150 times this season. I mean, he threw the ball to Edelman all the time, so it felt like our offense was only focused on Edelman, which makes sense because it technically was. But I think that when the camera's focused on the quarterback in the pocket, it's hard to see the separation problem, which is also why a lot of people blame it on the quarterback because they're like, throw it, get the ball out of your hands, you're getting sacked, Oh, why'd you throw it away? Just throw it to someone, look a little longer. And it's like, you can't see it from the quarterback perspective. When the separation isn't there, I mean, Brady is not going to throw that ball. And you saw throughout the season at some points he had to throw some really tight balls just to get a simple 3-yard, 5-yard completion because the separation was just that bad. For other teams, 4-yard completions come easy, but for the Patriots, even that was a challenge. Even on first downs, like third downs, it makes more sense because the defense is purposely trying to stop that. But, I mean, on first downs, can't even get a 4-yard catch. Any type of throwing situation seemed dire for us. It seemed like we were trying to force things. We weren't fluid. We weren't doing the right thing out there. And I think a part of it comes with coaching. Because Edelman, I mean, he was kind of like the veteran leader out there on the receiving team. But I think a part of it has to do with coaching because it wasn't just N'Keal Harry who struggled. I mean, Mohamed Sanu struggled. We know he succeeded with another team. Yes, Mohamed Sanu struggled. Philip Dorsett struggled. I mean, a lot more guys besides simply just N'Keal Harry struggled. And Mohamed Sanu is a proven guy. We know he can make decent play, and he really didn't do anything. So the question is it coaching or is it the player? I'm going to blame it a bit more on the coaches because I don't think they utilized N'Keal Harry to the best of their ability. I just don't think they did. I like N'Keal Harry. I like his physical ability. When he has the ball in his hands, he usually makes a guy miss every time he gets the ball. He's similar in that way to James White. James White feels like every time he gets the ball, he makes a guy miss. So he's similar in that way. But my point is, I don't think N'Keal Harry's a bust. So that's why I don't think we should draft a receiver in the first round. Or really, maybe like 6th, 7th, 5th, but not really anywhere before that. For anything before that, I think you focus on O-line or defense, just to keep the defense getting better. It's already good, but let's get them better. Let's get them great. I think that I'm going to be 100% honest. I think our defense kind of got a lucky break there in the first half of the season with how many bad teams we played. But I mean, great defenses destroy bad teams. I mean, good defenses play good against bad teams, but great defenses destroy bad teams. So I'm not saying our defense wasn't great this year, but I'm just saying that when we did face those harder teams, it seemed our defense, we saw the holes in our defense a bit more when we started playing those harder teams in the second half of the season. But anyways, thanks for watching. That's my take. Comment yours down below and let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. See ya.